guys, thanks for tuning in. Do you remember this air jack that Vevor sent us a while back? If you don't, the link to that video will be at the end of this one. Anyways, they decided to send us another one. And this one, it's bigger, it has a handle, it has wheels. I don't know how it works, but I guess Dan's gonna show us. Hey Dan, run that intro.
Hey Gearheads, thanks for tuning in. You know we've gotten a lot of cool tools from Vevor in the past, and this one is probably the biggest. Let's open it up and check it out. Now this is going to be featured on my TikTok shop. If you're not watching me over on TikTok, go follow me there. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube, and let's get this thing opened up. Hey, this kind of tells it all. Air jack. All right, so packing is similar to the other one. There's some items on the side here. And this will be the big clue as to why we got this one. If you didn't watch the other video, the last one I have, you can check the link up there. I'll also put it at the end of this video. But between that and this, if you've seen any of the TikToks on these products, you know where we're heading with this. Oh golly, this is heavy. All right, I'm gonna put it on the floor. Fortunately, we have some furniture in the garage because, you know, we're in between cars. Are going to get another one next week though. Oh, there's some brackets in here too. And hardware. So we can use some furniture to put this down on and get it out of here and get it up on the bench and check it out. Which will allow us to do a nice reveal. Ah. So let's see if we can do a cool unwrapping reveal. You guys ready? Look at this. And it's blue. I like blue. Blue is a good color. Look at that. So what we have here is the Vevor ZGA. It's a 5-ton air jack. As you can see, it's got triple bladders. It's got the long arm with the controls at the end. It is adjustable, so you can lift it up for storage. You can stand it straight up, or you can put it in the middle for operation. It's got wheels on the end, so you can roll it underneath your vehicle. And with the long arm, we're going to be able to do some things the other air jack cannot. So assembly of this is going to be pretty simple. You just have 2 handle sections, and they give you all the hardware you need to put it together. And it just goes right on the end here and hook up the air hose. They also give you 2 fittings, so you can match what system of air you have as far as your fittings go. Of course, if you need an additional one or a different one, you should already have that. But let's get this thing put together real quick. So, looks like this one is going to go here. We're going to put this hose through the center, because that kind of makes sense to me. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to go. And we'll put this right up here. And then this big bolt is going to go in the bottom, and it is slotted. I want to make sure that the hose is not in the way of that. I ran the hose above that up here, and you see it'll be here, and then you can lift it up and move it to here, and then you can lift it up and that'll help you move it, and then same thing with this lower position. So for now, we're just going to put it up here, and I'm going to go ahead and lock this on with the nut. No lock washers needed. These are the plastic lock nuts, so we'll just go ahead and tighten that up. So your 12 and 13 millimeter will get this tightened up, and we're going to tighten it up just enough so it's snug. And you can still move this around, so that should work great. And for the top one, we're going to run the hose in, and it's got to come out this little area here because it's going to go in there. So we're going to go ahead and spin that around because it has to go this way. And then once these are together, you're going to put these brackets on them and put the bolts through. And for these, you just want to make sure that the hose is on one side or the other. It's not going in between these or crossing, so you don't have any issues when you're moving it around and the hose is in there. And I don't think it matters which way you put these. You can pretty much choose your direction, like choose your own adventure. I'm putting them this way because I want the top to look nice and smooth. And then we'll just go ahead and tighten these up. And we'll just tighten these up. They are 10 millimeter. So again, we'll just make sure these are nice and snug. And after that, we will be going up to the Airline. All right, with these all tightened up, all we need to do is work on this airline and connect it. Now, as with the other jack, they give you plenty of extra slack, so make sure this isn't twisted up or held up or anything. And when you're putting it on this, we're just going to take this off, put the trim the airline down to where we need it. We're going to push it on and then tighten this up with a 14 millimeter. But when you're cutting and trimming that airline, you want to make sure you have slack down here and make sure it's in the out position, because if you do it with it in the in position, you're not going to have the slack to move it out. So you don't want to stretch this. You want to have it out. It'll have enough room here and here to, when you have it locked at the other end, it'll kind of push back here, which should be fine for when you're moving it. It's got this little lock notches, and when it's in the upright position, it'll just sit there. So definitely make sure you have it kind of laying down like I do. Make sure this is out all the way, not in. So like I said, we want to make sure this is in the out position. We're going to make sure this is stretched out, make sure it doesn't bind up, and it'll have room to move back and forth. And what I'm going to do is we're going to pull this air collar off, and this has to go right up to those threads. So we're going to trim it right about there, and that should give us enough for when it pushes in and just enough for when it comes out. So just take some pliers and cut that off, and hope you do a good job on the first try, because once you cut it, you can't reattach it. We're going to put that collar on the hose because that needs to be on before we can lock it. And then this basically just pushes on here. Make sure it's nice and snug, and it's all the way up to those threads, just like that. And then this just threads on. Like I said, it's 14 millimeter, and we're just going to tighten that up and make sure it's nice and happy. And if you're like me, you need to make sure the flats are matching each other, because that makes me happy. And then, like I said, they do give you 2 different air fittings for your hoses. If you need a different one, obviously you should have that, or you have to get it, but that's pretty cool. They at least give you 2 different ones to start with. So make sure whichever one you're going to use is going to fit your system, and then we're going to go ahead and Teflon tape the bottom. And with a little bit of Teflon tape in there, we're just going to put it on the intake valve, which is the green one. Obviously the red exhaust one has a little nut bolt on the end, so you can control how much air comes out. So that goes in nice and easy, and we'll just snug it up with a 14 millimeter. Now we'll show you here as well. This is the overflow, or overpressure valve. So if you end up with too much pressure, this thing will pop out, and then you basically have to push it back in after you close your valve. So valves closed when it's opposite or perpendicular, and it's straight when it's open. So that is open, and this is closed. So when you're airing up, you want to have the green one open, your red one closed, and then you lock that down. And then when you're opening it, it is a little cumbersome to get in here, but you'll be opening the red valve, make sure the green one is closed, and you can adjust this to the air so it can come out faster or it'll come out slower. You don't want to close it, or else it won't come out at all. And then close that down. Make sure that's closed when you want to make it go up, obviously, but that's pretty much it. Now, before we can bench test this, I know a lot of people are going to ask what's the lowest it'll go and what's the highest it'll go. So let's get the measuring tape out and see what the low is. All right, so I got the camera level to the pad, and we're going to put this down, and it looks like the top of the pad, now it's hard to see there, but it's about 6 3/16. So figure 6 1/4, you should be pretty safe. All right, so let's air it up and we can measure the top height. Pretty cool. Now that thing is fast, and as you can see, that top height's pretty high, so let's measure it. All right, so it looks like it's just about 18 1/4. So that gives us about 12 inches of travel. So you have 12 inches of lift that you can use this thing for. So let's test it out. This thing is not that heavy, but the idea is that once it's on the ground, it's got wheels, and you just roll it wherever you want to. And then if you want to store it, just put the arm up, and it doesn't take up much space. We're going to roll it under the vehicle, get it all set up where we need to on the frame, right there, and then we're just going to air it up. So it is completely off the ground. As you can see, that 12 inches of travel was plenty. Now this is a full frame car, so if you're working on another car, you want to make sure you're jacking it up in a correct point. And if you're going to work under it, you want to make sure you're using jack stands and being smart. And when you're done, make sure the intake valve is closed and you open that exhaust valve. So as you can see, this thing's really handy, and when you need to move it, again, you can just bring it out there. You can also put it in this middle position, or you can take it out and just store it straight up. So you may be asking yourself, Dan, why do you need this long handle Vevor jack when you already have this short handle Vevor jack? Well, the obvious difference is the handle. So this short one works great if you're working on the side of a car, you need to lift up one wheel or something like that. But with the added length of this handle and the controls on the end, it will allow you to go under the rear differential of a rear-wheel drive vehicle or go underneath the front of the car. The controls are far out enough so you'll be safe when you're jacking it up or taking it down. And also, it's got wheels, so it's nice and easy to move. When you're storing it, you just put the handle like that and you're done. So there's two kinds of Vevor air jacks that'll work great for you. They actually do have ones that don't have a movable handle, so they have multiple. So I will put links down in the description below. I'm gonna link that video that I did on the other air jack at the end of this video. And if you're watching this on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, or see any of my other videos, please like them, share them with people you think might like car stuff. And we're gonna put these away and go back to working on Project Chevelles and selling that El Camino. So until next time, thanks for watching. Stay positive and keep on wrenching.